guys, we're here back doing the interview series, continuing along, and I'm excited for my guest today. We're bringing in the one, the only Dr.Chikenz. How's it going, brother?
Hey guys, oh man, excited to be here. Oh.
I'm excited too. Really excited for this interview. If anything, Dr.Chikenz, I want to start off with, how did you come up with that name, Dr.Chikenz? I'm sure everyone is very curious on that, including myself.
To be honest, this is a little bit of a different one. Maybe like when I was 12, 13 years old. I'm sure you've heard about this game, World of Warcraft. I mean,
of course,
there's not many people out there that haven't. And me being a 12, 13-year-old chicken was playing that all the time. And there was a little class in WoW, World of Warcraft back in the day, which resembled a chicken, which was called a boomkin or something. You cast spells and everything all the time. And that was my jam and everything. And my character's name back then was Dr.Chikenz. So when it came over to bringing to the YouTube and everything, it was like, I don't know, I wanted something that wasn't, strictly Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon-wise, sticking to that sort of genre, something that could be maybe more open and out there, have something, that people might resonate or not resonate with, but just remember, or something a bit more unique. And Dr.Chikenz just seemed to fit when I was going back through all the names and memories and just bam, 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 yeah.
Well, definitely, I totally agree with you there. If anything, because your name doesn't limit you to just one genre, so that's one thing that really stands out to me. Is like you said, you open other things, not just Yu-Gi-Oh, but Pokemon and other related things. But
Yeah.
I think that is a really good name choice, just because it's not specific to one category, and it lets you open your horizons and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Exactly.
So if
Even
anything,
though there's not too much resemblance between the Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon with the chicken part, but hey, make it work,
oh, definitely, it's unique,
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to talk to you about today is your journey and how it started off. So, what really got you into Yu-Gi-Oh and I guess in trading cards in general?
Oh gosh, to be honest, well, as with most of us, I'm sure, growing up, probably for me when I was about maybe 5, 6 years old, my group of friends, I remember going to, back in Australia at least, we had a Toys R Us, and always going down there with my friends and picking out, one pack. And I remember it was never LOB, MRD, anything like that. It was always MFC, IOC, some of the AST later sets going into GX, since I guess that's when I was growing up in the 2004 buying packs or so, 2005 era. And then, yeah, just going from there. And I don't even remember what else. Maybe one of the Kaiba starter decks back in the day, Unlimited as well. And just getting to put those together and playing with my friends, even though none of us knew any of the rules. So that was like throwing that out the window, just making up stuff on the fly. Cards, oh, your Monster Reborn brings back 10 monsters, something. But so I mean, yeah, that sort of just evolved into, I guess, what is now the childhood love and nostalgia. And I don't know if it kept coming back throughout the years. I mean, a couple of, was it 2012 or something? I actually started making YouTube channel, the YouTube videos for the first time on my channel, which was definitely an experience back then. And I think I bought a LOB 24 booster packs Unlimited, a MRD booster box European, and ended up opening all those back in that. Still on the channel now, but just I guess jumping in and out.
So you jumped into to YouTube back in 2012, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess sort of starting back then, I guess, just bringing what I loved and jumping back into Yu-Gi-Oh in that era, and then that only really lasted a couple months, to be honest, I guess, and then being 11, 12 years old buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards didn't really, I guess, last in my era, or was just a sort of phase or something, which definitely regret, but
oh, for sure. Well, I'm glad you brought up the YouTube thing, because that's one of the things I want to talk about first. Is that's the biggest thing that I've noticed from you and people that haven't seen your channel yet. But I really do feel like you have one of the most underrated channels that's out there. And it's not necessarily the pack openings or this or that. It's really the content that you go along with it. You tell a story that no one I have seen does. And what I mean by that is, like, I can name like 3 things off the top of my head, like the opening of the cards underwater. That no one's ever done. the Squid Games,
Yeah,
tied that in with Pokemon, and then like the
yeah.
Indiana Jones parody. Honestly, like these are great ideas. How are you coming up with this kind of ideas?
Oh, to be honest, that's a long and difficult process. But I mean, getting just into a little bit, I guess it starts with what I watch on YouTube, and who you watch and this and that. And to be honest, this may sound weird, but I've sort of gone to the stage where I don't watch YouTube for entertainment, if that makes sense. It's more for research
Oh wow.
and watching people I know to take down things. And I know it sounds weird to imitate a style, but honestly, in my perspective and I don't know, in my path to this whole thing and everything, I believe that taking the best parts from everyone and creating your own persona from that is the best way to go. Taking what other people have done and improving on that, and hopefully that's the way. But I mean, going back to what I watch on YouTube and this and that, and getting inspiration. Whether it's like looking at people like, I don't know, it's weird to say like Mr. Beast and big characters like that, but it's like, and then looking at the way they sort of make stories and this and that,
Uh-huh.
and have been trying to incorporate it into Yu-Gi-Oh and make a story and like a journey that the people can care about, whether I do pull what I want or this or that or not, or something to just grab people's attention and make them care without necessarily being about the opening, which would be nice. But it's definitely been a process to try and get down, which I'm sure isn't perfect yet. But
oh, for sure, man. If anything, it's difficult. Like what people don't realize for YouTube creators is it's not only coming up with the content, but editing it, and it's such this long journey, and trying to put out the content and get it going on a day-to-day or weekly basis is it's really you've got to have a passion for it, and if you don't, then I mean that's why you see some people fall off or whatever. But I do appreciate the consistency like that you put out, man. It's like it's really cool, dude, because it's like you're doing stuff that is and that's different that no one's doing, and I noticed that. I know a lot of people are noticing that, and for a channel that's under 1,000 subscribers, I'm blown away, honestly. The editing is really good editing. Like you capture my attention really well. So when I see stuff like that, it's like, wow, like this is a lot better than a lot of some of the big other creators that are, have all the views and stuff. But like this guy's really going above and beyond, and it's different and it's refreshing. But like I said, like the underwater video, man, like I want to go back to that though real quick. How did you do that for one? Because like that's like almost impossible. That was like that was crazy.
Oh yeah, that was such a hard one to get organized and everything, because I had to find a huge container and try stuff it underwater for one, and keep it air and everything and not run out of air. And the hardest part was getting the container full of air, since it surprisingly weighs so much to stay underwater in the water.
Right.
So we had to get huge concrete slabs and buckets and tie it to the container just to tie it down, and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And opening the cards was the easy part with little oxygen, but organizing was the tough one.
So that specific video though, and like others like it, I'm assuming you had to have help on that, right? That wasn't something you could just do by yourself.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, definitely organizing everything was a challenge with a couple people and this and that and blah blah. But definitely need a few hands.
Oh, for sure. That was
definitely, as for some of the other videos I'm doing, like whether it's Squid Games or this or that, I definitely get a couple people to be like behind the camera or this or that, or just help out with moving things just to make it go a little bit faster, even though it's always mostly me being filmed or this or that or blah blah. I do have hands helping out to make things,
Oh, for sure.
Or else it would be impossible, I gotta say.
Oh, for sure. You got to have a good team behind you helping you. So that's awesome, man. Another thing in your YouTube videos that no one else does.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure you see where I'm hitting at here, but your dog Django. I know he's a big part of your life, and I can see it in the videos, and it's really cool. But how did you like implement that into your videos? Like, is it just your love for your dog as well, or would just explain that to me there?
Hmm. Well, to be honest, I actually have to give props to my dad here because he's the one that like suggested to somehow incorporate Django into videos. And I was
Hmm.
thinking, okay, I started with I think it was the skits bringing him in for like Lion King things and different skits or whatever. And then from there, I thought, actually, I think it was Casual Yugi Jamie that gave me the props on this with his green screen since he always uses one in a lot of his videos. I mean, he used to, I believe.
Yeah.
And I thought, why not add in Django at the side and see if we can somehow incorporate it? I mean, he is one rat bag sleep. You probably can't see him at the moment, but he's sleeping on the bed right now somewhere in the corner. He's one rat bag and this and that. So I thought I had to incorporate him somehow with everyone's love for dogs and this and that. It'd make it a little bit more up there and top notch personable and someone they could maybe relate to besides me, this and that, blah, blah,
Oh, for
which
sure, man.
definitely seems to be helping out.
Oh, definitely. I could
but
see like it really builds onto your character, man. And it's like I like how you
yeah.
implement him into it. And you'll even ask him something, and like he'll usually lick his lips or
Uh,
something. It's
yeah.
it's
He normally actually gets more comments than me and this and that, and more positive feedback, but I can't be too jealous, right, Django?
that's awesome.
But no, no.
Um, yeah, definitely shout out to Django, man.
Wonderful.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. He's really
Yeah.
entertaining. It does help. Definitely, I think it does help your videos too, man. Because it's who doesn't like a
Hmm.
cute little dog? So
No,
I wish I could
that's
get
actually
my.
yeah. The one thing that
Oh,
I got to sorry for interrupting, but the one thing that I got to say is by adding Django and all these other things I got to do with the story and this and that a little bit more random. But the point I got to focus on is, and I'm sure this doesn't apply to a lot of YouTubers and this and that, and people that make videos, but I'm sure a lot of us have trouble thinking and this and that when it comes to like how much should we upload, how much time should you spend on a video, how much quality, how much quantity, and by adding in Django and all these things, I really like to make the point that I like to put in more quality than anything into videos to
definitely.
try and make, just try and make the best thing I ever, can to make that last. Not only for people and this and that, but when I can, one day look back on memories, say, in 10, 15 years' time, Django's not around, this and that, I'll always be able to look back on these fond memories and skits I've done and different things like this and that and the good times.
Oh, definitely,
But
man. That's yeah. You gotta have those memories, man. Because that's really what when you look back on it, that's what makes you happy. And like I'm sure that's your passion behind it. Is
yeah,
like it feels good inside. It really does. I know what you mean.
yeah. Definitely,
Um,
definitely.
let's switch gears a little bit here, but I kind of want to know what is like your favorite things to collect. Obviously, I see your wall of shrine behind you there. A lot of good stuff there, by the way. That's epic stuff. But what would you say is like your favorite stuff to collect and why?
Hmm. Well, that's I definitely. I mean, of course, it's got to be the trading cards and sticking into that area. I guess maybe I don't know if you're talking about maybe like sealed versus graded or cards or singles or just even figures or whatever you collect and this and that. To be honest, I'm definitely sticking to the card side because let's be honest, that's my childhood. Growing up and seeing this in the TV show, all these things, LOB for one, just watching all classic Duel Monsters and some of that GX as well. I never got into 5Ds in the anime or whatever, but I mean, that was my childhood as well as Pokemon. So it was like just getting into those and having, I don't know, I'm a little bit of a weird one, some would say. I don't have any graded cards. I mean, besides a few that were graciously given or this or that or blah blah or any singles that I really treasure. I'm strictly just like strictly sealed, just to speak. I can't rip off that name, but I mean strictly a sealed guy, that's for sure. I don't know, there's just something about booster boxes, also maybe being a YouTuber so I can crack them open at any point, but
Right.
just the appreciation of having that box and factory sealed and this and that, as well as something to do with the value maybe a little bit. But I mean, there's just a beauty in that I can appreciate compared to a single or graded cards that just come in slabs that sort of, I don't know, it doesn't really do it for me compared to them sealed products, I gotta say. And as you can see, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, that's definitely definitely my jam. Even though I've been getting into a little bit of Dragon Ball Super with a few sets coming out recently and different things after short coming up, but I mean, it's all on the low at least.
That's awesome, man. Because like I'm always curious on collectors. Like, do they, if some people only grade just they only like the graded cards or they like the sealed stuff. Me,
Yeah,
me personally, like I love the sealed stuff as well. That's my
yeah,
genre and go to as well. And
yeah, yeah,
but I totally agree with you because it's like it's that chance of I might open this eventually, and I know those chase
yeah,
cards, and I know it's a possibility I might can pull that rare card that everybody wants. And
yeah. True, true.
but if anything, though, I think it'd be hard for me to have that section how you had it set up because I'd be wanting to crack those open.
Oh, trust me, it takes so much restraint. I've just learned now, just no opening anything unless there's a recording and a camera in front of you because that's strain myself. Oh yeah, it's but yeah, it's gotta
So,
love it.
oh, definitely. So, I want to change the question here to
Yeah,
what you're seeing lately in with the whole market and the whole trading card game market as a whole. So you're seeing lots of different things. I feel like it's a roller coaster lately. But what is your opinion on the market? Where do you think it's going? The end of the year, next year?
that is a good point. Oh, to be honest, I definitely think we're on the. I mean, we're trailing back somewhere, but after last year, I mean, we saw astronomical highs. Things are going way down now. I mean, not just Pokemon, as you know, Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Prices, auctions across the board, whether it's classic, even modern stuff is rising a lot slower than in the past. I mean, but then again, I guess it all depends where you look. There's always areas you can find certain things, blah blah.
Right.
So it's like, but I mean, on the average, I feel everything's slowly getting back up there, especially on the Yu-Gi-Oh side. Forgetting about Pokemon and everything for a second. Everything's, I mean, things that deserve to be there. I mean, there are a few odd cases with classic things dropping off with auctions, this, that, blah, blah, that I've seen. But I mean, 5D stuff, other Zexal, blah, blah, continuing to rise up. So it's like, I guess what money people have and can afford to spend on their buying, but it's like no one can afford to be too picky and choosy right now. But I'm sure give it another year or two or something, and we're going to see things. I mean, as the market's already done in the past, it's going to go back up eventually one of these days. Just gotta people not get too scared or sell too soon. Buy into things you love as always, and don't buy into the hype or whatever people call it. I mean, unless
Definitely.
that's what you love, but
Right.
just don't make any rash decisions.
Well, I think you
But
bring up a good point there. Is like with the market,
hmm,
it's just it's like you said, it's dipped, it's went back up, and it's changed. But
yeah,
I think if well, the craziest thing for me is like I just feel like there's some collectors that are selling off a ton of like stuff that you would normally not see for sale. You know, um,
yeah, yeah.
so I find that trend just very interesting. It like kind of worried me at first, but like you're saying though, I think it'll be interesting how it plays out next year, especially a lot of
Yeah,
different
yeah,
lot of
definitely.
go ahead.
Sorry, to interject. It definitely has to do with this COVID. I got to say though, at the start, everyone just coming back in, we saw people spending money, like whether they're getting paid from works to stay home, this or that, or government, blah blah, and so much cash injections into Yu-Gi-Oh was crazy. But now, I guess some people are seeing that okay, this isn't lasting. I got to sell some stuff to stay afloat, or maybe they haven't gotten a job in a while, or something, and seems a couple people being forced to at least sell some sort of their collection. Or it
Yeah,
seems to be the case on the board, or at least people are slowing down on some purchases as well. But definitely now I'd say is the time to jump in and grab any of those. I mean, I've been looking at, I gotta say, AST, some of that LOB stuff, even though I can't. I wish, but I've been looking at least.
well, definitely, and like
Yeah.
you mentioned there LOB there, so I'm seeing that beautiful shining box back there behind you there. So that's
Oh,
that's gonna be the
cool.
next thing I'd like to talk to you about. So how did you acquire that,
Yeah.
and do you feel like that was like your best
Oh,
purchase ever, or what would you say is your best purchase best investments you've had?
Uh, Definitely has to be, yeah, the cream of the crop or whatever, the LOB box for sure. And that was such a tough one. I got to go through like the story, I guess, back in, was it April of earlier 2020 or this or that, when I first joined the hobby, started making YouTube videos. I'd been in contact with you as well. I had watched a couple videos, I believe, from one from Ruxin that he made earlier in February about why LOB is the best investment, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'd just gone back into Yu-Gi-Oh! See all my old cards, like, okay, I got this Gate Guardian that I got from this box or that, and it cost this much now. It's like 50, $60, this, that. Seeing my old cards like double and triple in price, I was thinking, well, okay, let's see what's at the top. And of course, LOB at the time, what was it? Boxes were floating. On the low end, was it around maybe 10, 9 grand for the glossy boxes around the time, maybe 11. And then the wavies, I believe there was one on 11 grand, the cheapest on eBay at the time. And there was the one that I was looking at for 13 grand. And
I remember that. That was.
It took. It. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say
so much discussion with the parents. I was talking to you, showing them videos, discussions, statistics from what I heard from people like you that generously said, this is a must, blah blah, that had evidence. People like Ruxin with videos, other people that obviously made content around LOB and showed it off. And it wasn't really a PowerPoint I gave my parents, but one big, good, long speech over a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And they slowly started to see that this could be something that I'm not just a complete insane chicken about.
Well, definitely. If anything, I remember that when I guess the big thing for me, if you remember Petty Party, shout out to Peter there. He did a post that he was buying an LOB box. And when I saw that post, when it was around the 10,000 range, I knew that, like, whoa, you better pay attention to this. Like, if anything, that's going to be a good investment. You got to jump on this. If you don't, someone else will. And then you just saw the prices just skyrocket from there. So totally agree with you. That was right when you bought it too, right?
Yeah, literally the craziness and like, I believe I received it in late May around my birthday, and then Logan Paul came in, August this time, blah, blah, and Pokemon went through the roof. Yu-Gi-Oh! Started to follow. Auctions through the roof on PWCC, this, that. It was in some insane times, to say the least. But, I mean, so they've definitely dipped off a little bit now, I gotta say. But, I mean, the crux of the story and everything, definitely following the gut, talking, to some professionals like you yourself, Rox, and this, that, everyone, just getting the gist of the idea. And I mean, after all, it was a risk. And I got to say, I was, for the month or two, waiting in the mail for that thing to arrive from America to Thailand, customs. I was, panicking like a headless chicken, but
I bet that was exciting though, getting that, man. I remember when I got my box. That was one of the coolest days. So next question I want to ask you here is, I'm curious, like, what would you consider like your favorite all-time card? If you could say out of your whole collection, not necessarily value-wise, but like what means something to you? Like, is there a card that like it brings back your memories of your childhood, or is it something that's like it just means a lot to you, and the reason why?
Okay. To be honest, since I have no singles or no, like, I gotta say, I mean, I got a couple like hollows here, but it's like, yeah, I barely have anything here that like I pulled myself that's like crazy, I guess. But I mean, thinking out of everything that like resonates with me, I'll go off of the obvious chickens, the blue eyes, or Nuratori or something like that. That would be obvious. But I think I actually got to go for something like Polarization, because like, I don't know, when watching the TV show and everything, like that just I had so much nostalgia just like watching. Anytime Yugi, played that card, something was about to go fusing Guy, this and that, or for Skull and Black, Black Skull, this and that. Like, just so many epic moments around the TV show revolved around polymerization and just whatever that brought out. I feel like, I don't know, that has definitely the most nostalgia and just like poof memories for me. Like, even though I don't have any crazy rarities or anything like that, maybe I have a Starlight in Korean of that. Maybe that's the best thing I got. But it's like polymerization definitely takes the cake of just, yeah, wow for me, I gotta say.
That's awesome, man. Like, it's
Yeah.
awesome card, like you said from the show. There's just so many moments where, like you said, you knew something big was coming when that happened. So I totally agree with you there, man. It was
yeah, Dark Palette and all that. Like, yeah, too many good times. Like, honestly.
So you grew up watching the show? Did you like just the first couple seasons, or did you like watch every one of them, or?
Oh, I definitely, when I was a child, just grew up watching original Duel Monsters and this and that, and then probably in the early teenage years went back and watched like GX since I didn't even know that came out, or it wasn't a thing necessarily. Never got into 5Ds because I saw the racing bikes. I couldn't. Yu-Gi-Oh for me isn't on a bike, but maybe we'll give that a try another one of these days. But
oh man,
yeah, definitely just classic and GX. That's my jam. But
that's awesome.
Brings back all that nostalgia. Oh yeah.
So I guess with back to the YouTube thing, like you're saying, earlier you said you watch a lot just for research purposes. So is there any specific like YouTubers or anything that you watch or like consistently watch, or tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, going over to like I guess the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh side for those YouTubers, and I would say that I watch a fair bit of I guess I did lie that I watch all not for entertainment, because there is a few things like I gotta say the top thing that I've been watching recently, I don't know if you've seen it or anything, but SEMO has come out with an excellent auction series versus Ruxin.
Yeah.
Where they do this imaginary auction thing, and that has been actually entertaining, even though I haven't been gathering too much research and this and that from that, obviously, because that's something they do on a collab and this and that and blah blah, but it's definitely an entertaining thing I've seen, and just being into buying different things in Yu-Gi-Oh and loving the OG stuff, mostly what they've been doing. It's definitely been great to see that. But on the research side and this and that, it depends obviously what I'm looking for at the time and like what sort of like story I'm trying to tell and this and that. A lot of times, if I'm opening a certain product or like talking about a certain product, I'll look up people like focused around that.
Yeah.
To sort of like incorporate them or get ideas, or even just bring them into the video themselves like that. Or if I'm looking for like, let's say, inspiration on different things, I would say there's definitely a few people out there like being like Ruxin, definitely you for like the outdoor openings, different things. I would say Simply Unlucky's definitely, even though I gotta say all these people, including you, I don't watch too many people on like a, let's say, dedicated. That's more like, okay, they've uploaded an epic video, let's check them out this day. They've uploaded another epic one here, let's check it out. No one I really watch is like, got to check out every sort of video, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but either way, just I guess looking at what I like at the time, or this or that, or picking the research. But just going through all the names and this and that. Yeah, definitely. Ruxin's up there, because since I got to say he is definitely some good product and different things he opens up, which is cool. Not a lot of us can afford to do, and it's spicy to watch.
Oh yeah.
I definitely you for them outdoor openings. That's definitely something. Casual Yugi stuff. He has definitely a good attitude and opens up a lot of GX and 5Ds I like.
Yeah, Jamie's
I'm sure you've actually heard. I've heard. You may or may not have heard of this one guy. I've actually two friends that are super actually underrated that I wish they made more videos. But Go Cards and stuff, as well as the Collector's Vault, Mike. These two guys really have some super epic content, just great personalities. But you guys got to upload more, as well as you, Prodigy. You know that too. But
Oh yeah, it's hard finding time,
I know
man.
it definitely comes hard though, doesn't it, with the schedules and this that life. But
I'll have to
uh,
check out the first one. What was the first one you said?
go cards and stuff.
I'll check that one out. I've seen Collector's Vault. Yeah, he does have some good
Mm-hmm.
videos. I like stuff like that. But
Yeah.
the hard thing is, man, there's so much content out there. It's really like
Mm,
I would
yeah.
spend my whole day watching everybody's videos, you know,
Yeah,
which is def-
exactly.
was
Most of the time, yeah, it's like something just pops in my inbox, like, maybe like a rhyme style video, whether it's him, getting a hitter or someone else opening something, and just, most of the time it ends up being something that's gets my attention, like whether it's not clickbaity, but
right.
it has to, be some sort of, pulled this or did this or opened this here, or, something that opens some epic packs. But I mean, I guess that's just the name of the game in YouTube, but
Definitely.
which is, oh yeah. But I definitely spend more time watching non-Yu-Gi-Oh related content than Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, unfortunately, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I mean,
Well,
I
if
guess
anything,
yeah.
you like to, like you said, your research purposes. You've got reasons
Hmm.
of why you're watching the videos, so that probably changes up how you're, what you're watching. So I totally understand that, man. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
exactly. Yeah.
Um,
Definitely look at YouTube as a lot of self improvement or self working or development or how to improve, but
definitely.
a big research tool like Google.
So, switching gears again here, going away from YouTube, let's go to Instagram real quick. So,
Ooh.
on Instagram here, what would you say is like some of your favorite accounts that you like to follow, and like what is the content that you're looking at, and the reason why you're looking at that content on Instagram?
Hmm. I gotta say, out of everything, Instagram's probably one of the lower, not priorities, but things that I'm not paying attention to. But I guess, yeah, paying attention to. Sounds weird to say, but I mean, uh, I don't know. There's a fair few definitely people out there that I'm, looking for, following, just main things, this and that. And to be honest, it's for the most part, it's the same list of people, that I know that deliver good content. Whether it's gonna be Ruxin coming out with something, yourself, you Mr. Beast up on there, this and that. I got, it's most of the main people I know. I don't want to go through too many names because there's going to be so many names and this and that, but
No worries.
it's all the ones that have, it's all the ones that have quality, and that they put out quality, whether it's they have lots of products, or they got good announcements coming, or good insights on the market, or good insights on what's happening, or
Right.
even funny in general. It's like, and even though I do have a lot of different ones, like TCG Core House or this or that or blah blah on Insta, where you go through and you see the Mighty Collection sealed Samara, this and that, all that, seeing those crazy Halo God and blah blah, all the stacks of stacks and packs and boxes. But no, to be honest, Insta's mostly just a way of talking and having fun, and then as well as the business side of selling and buying. But I mean, not too much just looking at products, or this different things, or looking at what people got coming out.
Oh, for sure. Like, so you just focus on the quality of the content that's very similar to YouTube. You like to
Yeah,
narrow it down to stuff that's your interest, and just stuff that you want to just see overall. Is that what I'm understanding? Pretty
yeah,
much.
exactly. I mean, I mean, it sounds bad to say because maybe it's judgmental, but I already know in my mind, I guess, who's got the good content for me at least. And of course, there's other people can come along and this and that, but I stick to what I like. So people that got their good openings, or people that got good information, or whatever, this and that. I stick to whatever's best for this and that. But
I totally agree with you, man. That's really cool, actually.
yeah.
Um, so one thing I'm really excited in the interview series to ask this question is, what would you like to see more out of the Yu-Gi-Oh community, or in the trading card game community as a whole? What would you like to see different?
Or time to whip out I Have a Dream or something. Okay, okay. Oh, see more of.
or is there
I gotta
something
say,
that you feel like that people are just not doing that you'd like to see more of in the community? I guess that's
mm,
more of what I'm asking.
okay. To be honest, I gotta say we're in a pretty good community at the moment, and this and that, and I mean, we definitely have a everyone's friendly and this and that and blah blah blah. But I don't know if there was some way, and this doesn't even pertain to me at all because I, to be honest, I like doing my own thing and this and that and blah blah. I don't always need to be involved with other people or this, but I feel if there was more not collaborations but group Yu-Gi-Oh things. I don't even know what this would be for, to be honest, but because the Yu-Gi-Oh community is already pretty brought together, I would say, from different parts of the world, different cultures, backgrounds, all for cards. Might be a big ask me saying to get even more closely knit or whatever, but there's definitely some areas I say we could improve on in that sort of regard, even though I'm not too sure what there would be. I think just working on, the small things of, I guess treating, people like people, whatever, that involves whatever beyond the cards.
Yeah. No,
I think
I
we'll all be good and get along, but
no, I think
be
I
more of a
understand you.
close knit community in that regard as well.
Oh, definitely. If anything, I understand what you're saying. It's hard to really put that in words, but I definitely understand what you're saying. Like
Mm-mm.
just being more as a whole, as a community, and just bringing each other closer, and because there's so much talent out there, man. That's I feel like that people don't see, and that's like if more people use their knowledge to help others, I feel like that's
Mm.
pretty much what I would like to see personally as well. So I totally agree with that. That's really cool.
No, that definitely that would be something I would like to see. There, even though it's can't ask everyone, if they don't want to contribute, they don't want to contribute. But I mean, everyone, think for themselves. Like, I mean, it's hard, everyone's different. So, but yeah, it would be definitely nice to see a more community of people helping each other out, whether big or small, or this or that, or just people getting together in some sort of way. But
Oh, for sure. Um, I guess this will be the last question I ask you here, and then we'll go to the second part of the interview for you. But I'm curious, what is
okay.
your what's your goals for the rest of the year on your collection, and then like going into next year? Do you have some big goals that you're working on?
Spicy. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can reveal all this epicness or this or that. Oh, to be honest, a lot of these, oh, I do have a fair few goals and this and that. Some of them are YouTube, combined with the YouTube. Some are just pure collection. I guess I should reveal some of them and this and that. Well, for one, I've been working on whenever I do hit the subscriber count needed, 900 subscribers, one of every special edition blister opening. So, from those Retro Pack 2, Forbidden Legacy, all the way up to all the GX special edition blisters they got with the promos and stuff. So,
Yeah.
that'd be definitely a fun one and exciting one to open. Hopefully, that's Shining or something, or who knows what. But I mean, that's a hefty one to organize, and even buying as well the doubles just to have greedy for once I open one of each one to have another one sealed of each.
Right.
But I mean, been also buying some boxes, some old vintage packs to maybe open out in the middle of the ocean or underwater coming up, different things like that. But
hold on. You said in the middle of the ocean. Is that what? Did I just hear that right? Oh man. I want to see that.
I think something like that.
Man,
Hopefully the sharks don't get us, Django.
I'm thinking in my head like, how is that gonna work? But like, if anyone can make it happen, I'm sure you, Dr.Chikenz, can make that happen. In the ocean opening, man, no one's done that. I do know that. That'd be epic.
We'll see. But no, definitely got a lot of good ideas planned. Just about, I guess, executing them as well. Even I've had this one under wraps for a while as well. I don't know how this will ever go, but I mean, once the seasons eventually get better here in Thailand, since half the year's rainy, half the year's sunny, and it's just starting to get into the sunny season over here, the non-monsoon season. Mm-hmm. Surviving on an island with only Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh cards somehow for 24 hours. And I mean, will be a challenge to make a tent out of cards and cook them and this and that and blah blah. But I mean,
Wow.
as long as the tide doesn't get us or whatever, sand flies, something, I don't know, snakes or lizards, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Wow, man. And that's what I like.
It'll be a venture and a half.
That's one thing that makes you so unique, man, is you're always thinking outside the box. And that's I mean, wow, man. I don't even know where to even think right now. I'm blown away by that. I'm just thinking like you're out in the ocean or like you're saying, but you're tying that in. That's what's really cool about it. You're tying in the love for the TCG game that you have, and you're making it unique and doing it your own thing. And that is the key, and that's why you're standing out on it, man. If you keep that up, there's no telling what your subscriber growth will go to, for one, because that's entertainment. That is what everyone wants to see. People want to see the cards open, but they also want to see it mixed in something and unique in their own way. And I think you're onto something, man. That's epic. I want to see that.
Hey, cheers. I mean, I gotta say as well, like, I mind myself when I think of these ideas and, blah, blah, and even like when I'm executing or it comes down to editing the video, I honestly just like, it gives me that excitement too. And like, I can't wait to just like show or put it out there, or even the anxiety before doing it is like, I gotta love it. Gotta honestly love it because, I mean, it's just, it's something so different and this and that. And even though I gotta say some of them don't work out as well or end up being tough or, a little bit tough to execute and on the harder side, whether it's sitting in a box underwater with little oxygen or this or that, but
man, well, keep it up, dude. That's awesome. Like,
figure it all out hopefully safely.
Yeah, definitely be safe on it. You don't want to do something too crazy, but at the same time, man, that's I feel you when you want to push the limits, and it's like, you want it entertaining, and you've got it in your head, and then just you want to put it on paper pretty much or on video. So it's like, kudos to you, man. Keep that up.
That's the hardest part.
Definitely, I want to see more of that, man. I'm excited, dude. You got me pumped right now. So, if anything, this is the last part of the interview. I want to do a little bit of either or. So, pretty much what this is just I'm going to ask you, do you like this one or this one? And it's more off the top of your head for you. So, we'll go ahead and...
Ready?
All right, perfect. So, we got either Kaiba or Yugi.
Oh, definitely Kaiba. I guess the internet's going paywall on the last bit.
Oh, no worries. So, we got Kaiba. We got Joey or Pegasus?
Joey.
Old school sets or new sets?
Old school, yep.
Definitely old school. We got Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl?
Dark Magician.
Crush Card Virus or Cyberstein?
Crush Card, definitely.
I agree. You got blister packs or booster packs?
Booster.
Booster packs? Okay.
Yep.
You got raw cards or graded cards?
Raw cards.
I had a feeling you was going to say that after what you said earlier. So, if you were grading, would it be PSA or BGS?
It's a hard one since I haven't done either, but would have to go for that black label.
Oh yeah, BGS then.
Yep.
And then we got Instagram or YouTube? YouTube. And then last question, collection or clout?
Collection.
Hands down. There you go. I knew that was coming. Yeah, everybody wants an awesome collection, man. You gotta go with the collection on that. But that was at least everything that I had planned for us, Dr. Chikenz. Was there anything else today that you'd like to add or anything?
Oh, no. I just got to say, bro, it was a complete pleasure, and I had a blast doing this with you. Honestly, it was a real wrap. A little bit anxious, but I mean, no, it was great talking, chilling with you. And, did want to ask you a couple questions. I got to say, even though they may have wandered off, they were, didn't want to interrupt the interview process. But I mean, I'll get those to you later.
Oh, no worries. Well, if anything, DrChickenz, I appreciate your time today, man. Guys, definitely check out this guy's channel. If you haven't, you are missing some awesome content. I'll have his YouTube and Instagram links in the description here. Go check this guy out, man. It's really, I wouldn't say that if it wasn't awesome. Amazing content, and I'm really excited to see where your journey goes, man. Because it's been fun so far, and everything we've talked about today, I can only imagine some of these things. So I can't wait to see it, man. But definitely, guys, check him out. And until the next video, guys, Yugioh Prodigy. I'll let you guys later.